Hot Mess Express coming your way. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Vlogsters, I got coffee this morning. It's my friend's cup because it's Sunday. We'll do a Sunday sit and sip. Yesterday Jim had to go out and pick up some groceries, so I got some new creamer. I love pumpkin spice creamer, but I don't know if it's whatever they use for their spices, but if I drink it, and I think I told you this like years and years, if I drink it like 2 days in a row or two times a day or whatever, I like indigestion a little bit, which I'm grateful that I have it because it's so delicious, but I'm grateful that I could switch it out with something else. First of all, I want to tell you, forgive my hair. It is, today is hair washing day. So today it's like, I wanted to come on here just to give everybody what's going on type of situation. I don't know if Jim has shared on his channel or if you guys watch Jim's channel that he has built this storage shed. So go back in time. I don't know what I've talked about it. I was gifted a storage shed, which he had to go pick up, which was a comedy of errors in itself. But he managed to do it all by himself. And then he managed to put it up all by himself with a little help from Mom. So I say all by himself because, just to clarify, Mom did help him, like, spot him and give him, like, tools. However, when you watch the video's installation process, there's really nobody who does it by themselves. Usually people have an assistant. When you go to put the roof pieces on, it's so much better to have 2 people on 2 ladders. As a matter of fact, that's what the instructions tell you to do. They tell you to use 2 people, but obviously he doesn't really have that kind of help like that around here. Let's see. He moved all of the Christmas stuff and Easter and Americana. So my Christmas, Easter, and Americana stuff I always keep in the utility room. And then all of the rest of the holidays plus 2 other baking boxes are in the attic space above the carport. So the Christmas stuff, he moved basically all of the holiday storage boxes and bags out of the utility room are now in the shed, which I think if I can remember to put a little video in here just to show you. It won't have sound, but you'll have an idea. But I will tell you that talking to him, after talking to him yesterday, I kind of was concerned about some things because I do know that he had this big vent vlog on his channel, and we've worked out, that we need to communicate better. So in that, I asked him yesterday, I said, is there a reason you don't want to work with me with these things? And he thought I was referring to the cleanup in his office that he did. And I wasn't. I was referring to like the organizing the storage. I feel bad because, and he admits it. He admits it that like I can fit 5 more plates in the dishwasher than he can, just by playing Tetris we talk about. So, and I'm good with the organization, and the same thing with the office and even when we did his den, he kind of like tries to rely on me to do that stuff, but then has this feeling that he wants to do it himself, which I don't mind 100%. I just feel bad because he's getting older and I don't want to have to make him do it twice. But if you're not using the space efficiently, then you'll have to like reorganize it. And that's kind of what I was, referring to. The other thing is like all of the wreath bags. I have basically my holiday wreaths stored in like these like vinyl zipper wreath bags that hang from handles. And I was like, we have to figure out a way to store these. In the other room, we had like a pegboard wall and hooks. What are we going to do in the shed? And we were looking up solutions yesterday. And I had a kind of notion of what I thought we could do. Dollar Tree sells these giant plant hooks, and I have 2 of them in my house. One of them was actually going to go outside to hang the chandelier on the tree. And one of them I left in the craft room just to be like, I don't know, I might have a project for it someday or whatever. So I asked him to take that and hang it from the rafter. The rafters like can support weight because they actually sell these kits that go across the rafters to support like above head storage. And we were thinking about possibly doing that, but that's a kind of like, it's to me, it's a bigger investment than I think it's worth, if that makes any sense. Like, for me, I probably want to, like, I would build something that could duplicate that without, for less than $80 or whatever. That's what I mean. But in the meantime, I said we have these hooks and you can hang them from the rafters and they can hang the wreath bags from them. And we can just get them out of the way off the floor or whatever. But we're still working on different solutions. So he did try that. That did work. The rafter goes across the... rafters go across the peak of the roof. So the roof goes like this and then a rafter goes this way. This particular rafter has something, I can't remember without looking at the video, but you can't hang it on against the wall for some reason. It's like, I don't know the way it's, because it goes up the ceiling and then across, like, it's not the full width of the unit. So like if the unit's this wide, the rafter is only this wide because it goes up the ceiling, across, and then back down. So if we hung it from the end here, it would go up against the boxes, which I thought was okay. But maybe because we have so many, we might come up with something different. But anyway, that's what I was going to say. So it's stuff like that. I said, you moved all this stuff in and I appreciate everything. I tell him all the time, I'm like, I appreciate everything you do and I don't want to, if you don't want to do it this way, that's okay. We can talk about it. But this is what I envisioned originally. So I had told him I had originally thought that the Christmas stuff was going to go across the back. The Easter and Americana stuff was going to go along one wall. And I don't care if it's the right wall or left wall, guys. I really don't. But they're in long boxes with lids. Like one's a hinged lid and no, they're both removable lids. I take that back. But one has wheels, one doesn't. No, they both have wheels. I take that back. It hurts only when I laugh. So I envisioned the two of those going along the wall sideways, basically not jutting out. But I envisioned all of the other decor going across this other wall. I don't think we have as many as will fill the space. So we were just talking and I said, I envisioned it like this. And he said, oh, okay. Yeah, that actually sounds good because then I can do this and this and this. And I was like, and then I feel bad because when he sees the vision and then he agrees upon it and he thinks it might be better, that's when I actually feel the worst. I know it's going to sound silly, like, oh, Jerry, you're full of crap. You got your way. It's not about my way. It's about, now I know he has to redo the whole thing. And that's what makes me feel terrible because he put a lot of physical effort into it. So I was talking to him about it after that night. And I said, is there something about us working together that's making you apprehensive? And he's like, thought I was talking about his doing his space and his den. And I was like, no, babe, I'm not talking about that. I was talking about the utility room and the storage shed and even the craft room. Like you said, you wanted to do this. It was Jim's idea to work over FaceTime. I want you to know that. I thought it was a good idea. I thought something possibly we could do. I don't know how I was going to film it. Like we were kind of like talking about how to do like the production value, like the production part of it. So we had tried it when he did his desk space. So basically he filmed the stuff in in the craft room, like taking his stuff out by himself. But then we FaceTimed as he was decorating his like desk space in the living room, his computer hutch. So I was talking to him about like what to do with things and he got like really upset at one point. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what I was doing here. And he's like, no, you're here in case I need any help. I said, oh, well, I didn't realize that. So I'm sorry. I'll just watch. If you need any help, I'm here. So it worked out. It worked out well. I wasn't sure if he had such a bad experience doing it that way. Like, was he apprehensive about doing it again? And he said, no, he just didn't think about it. And I just told him, I was like, I just feel really bad because I want you to work like efficiently. I don't want you to have to do double duty. I really don't want you to have to do double tasks. You're doing so much, working full time and stuff. So last night when he went to bed, he's like, oh, tomorrow I'll fix that up and I'll do this and that and the other thing. And I was like, well, you don't have to do it tomorrow. Like, I think my biggest concern is to get the storage facility emptied by the 1st, because then we'd have to pay another month. So he said he wouldn't mind going a couple of days after work. There's 2 days he works that are kind of light duty. They're not as busy, let's put it that way. So he said maybe after those days I'll go by and just grab half the stuff and then grab half the stuff. The problem is one of those days is Thursday and it's already going to be past the 1st. So he said maybe Monday and Tuesday then. So I'm not going to push him. I was like, it is what it is. If we have to pay it, we'll pay it. We'll cross that bridge kind of thing when we come to it, I think is what I was trying to say. Some places do give you a grace period of a couple of days to get out. I never actually saw the contract for this place because he did it all by himself. So I don't know what the stipulations are or whatever. But anyway, I just said, if you're working really hard, if you have to take the day off and do this, we'll just go into the next week. I don't want to push you. I just that was the tentative deadline that we had set ourselves. But I really don't want him to push himself too hard, because then he gets stuck mentally. He gets stuck like he wants to, he can't figure out, like, it's just too much, I guess. With everything, he's overwhelmed very easily with all of the things he has to do sometimes. So that's where we're at with that. So the utility room itself right now has like some memory boxes, not the old floor tiles, but the flooring tiles that were left over from the kitchen that are supposed to go in the living room. That's a whole nother thing. Do you guys know that story? Really quick, I'll tell you. We had a flood in the living room, in the kitchen, without dishwasher. We had a dishwasher replaced. We had to get the whole floor replaced. Insurance paid for it except for the deductible. We had to lay out the deductible. However, they were supposed to do the whole living room and kitchen, because that was one continuous floor when we first moved in the house. So they gave us so much money. We went there. We picked out the flooring. We set up the thing. The guy was coming. Came out to measure. And I said to him, because it was October, it was like right before Thanksgiving. And this was actually even before that I knew my family was coming for Thanksgiving that year. I can't remember if I knew after I made the schedule for them to do the floor or after he measured. I can't remember when I knew. But it was Thanksgiving, regardless of whether my family was coming. It was still Thanksgiving, and I wanted to have it done by Thanksgiving. But with everybody just wanting to get new floors for the holidays, I was like, you want to be like, call these people up and be like, I know you want a new floor for the holidays because you're having company and X, Y, and Z. But literally, I have no floor. Can we just like bump us up or something? But obviously, I didn't do that. So what we had opted to do, because it was the holidays, and they literally finished the floor the morning that my sisters and niece came. Like, they finished in the morning, and my sisters and niece came that evening. So we had Jimmy and I had 4 or 5 hours to unpack the kitchen, put everything back in the china cabinet and in the cabinets, and just things that we needed that we had to put away. We had to do all that in no time, which was fine. My sisters wouldn't have cared if they came and helped, but I just didn't want to have that experience, just take the time away from our visit for you to help me put stuff away. Help me move back into my kitchen. So we never had the living room done. It was November of 2019. And then Christmas season, and the flooring guys were booked for Christmas season. And then coronavirus. And that's pretty much what happened. They weren't coming in anybody's houses. We weren't comfortable about having anybody in our house anyway. As the year went by, even though that numbers weren't really bad here, we were still on lockdown. They still had precautions. The numbers in our county were really, really, really low. I think I told you this, even up to my birthday. Up until July, in July of 2020, we had 57 cases in the whole county. That's just because it hadn't gotten to us yet. So that was really the reason I had my birthday party. And then I ended up going to Texas because the same thing. It was very low numbers. There was higher numbers in Houston, but we never really go to Houston. We visit Eden, and she also lives like just in the beginning of Houston. Like 3 blocks from Eden is like the suburbs, you know. So, you know, we took all the precautions and everything. My sisters were here. We wore masks and we sanitized, and we're good, you know. Excuse me, but it was still like the guys weren't coming in and they weren't doing all this construction, and construction was a thing, but then the Lowe's people weren't coming. It was just a thing. So we waited, and then the numbers got and then it got worse. It got worse over the winter time, and then the insurance company, because it was a year, ended up closing the case. And now it was like, how are we going to pay to get the rest of our floor done? So that all being said, there's like 5 boxes of tiles left. Which Jimmy and I are like, we can do this. We could just buy. How many more do we need? Like, this wasn't hard. We watched them do this. This is a floating lock system, so we may end up doing that. What was the real great thing about having them do it is they moved all the furniture. You just have to empty your cabinets and stuff, and they move it all for you. Which for Jim and I was like, not bonus, but was like, I felt like almost necessary because we're getting old and things not working right. But we could do it, he said. He's like, we could do this for sure. So we have like 5 boxes of flooring tiles in there. That's where we keep our camp chairs and our garden stuff, because we really don't have like a gardening shed. He wants to get a gardening shed. He actually really likes this one, and there is one that's only like 4 feet deep that he was like, oh, we can use that for the gardening tools. And he's like, then there's one that's 10 feet deep, and we can use that for all the outdoor stuff. He loves it, and he's gone like, ba-do-do-do-do-do. So anyway, he's so cute. I can't stand it. I love him so much. So like in our utility room, we keep our gardening stuff. We keep like our outdoor, like where I have my outdoor twinkle lights, and that's where the hot water heater is. So it's just like miscellaneous stuff in there. I have 3. He said I have 3 memory boxes. I know of 2, and I don't even know that I know of 2. I think there's only 1 that's mine. But he thinks that there's 3. I said, did you open them? And he goes, no. I said, okay, because I really don't recall having 3 memory boxes. I had one that was full of very sentimental toys and stuffed animals, but I don't know that I have that anymore. I thought I downsized that and gave it up. So he's like, I don't know. I just put them back in the utility room. I said, that's fine. We'll when I'm better, we'll be up there and we'll do it. And I said to him, one of the things we were talking about, how like, do you not want to work together? Like once a year, he would manage the shed, a utility room. He would manage the storage in the utility room, and even the outdoor shed. And then once a year, I go in there and I say, let's see what's going on, because he does just like, like find a space for it, as opposed to like putting it where it goes or where it's the most efficient or whatever, which is fine. I said, I don't care. You're the one who's in it most of the time. I just want you to not be overwhelmed when you go in there. So once a year, around Christmas time usually, or Thanksgiving, we go in there and we redo everything and put it all neat back the way it's supposed to be, or the way that it fits most efficiently, I guess is the way to say it. What's supposed to, But I haven't been out to the shed in a long time, because one time I went out there, and the thing that I hate that crawls was everywhere. And I was like, praise Jesus, none of this stuff comes in my house. It's all outdoor decor. But I got the willies, and I was never going back out there again. Never. I got willies just thinking about it. I'm going to pause you for a second. Hold on. Okay. Let me fix my camera. Okay. Sorry about that. I had got to go to the ladies' room. So I thought I would reposition. I don't know exactly how long it's been since I repositioned, because it's Sunday and I'm not paying attention to that stuff. Just listening to my body. Yeah. So I'm excited. The whole plan, if I could say the whole plan, fix my hair. I put my brushed it and put my clips back in, and I feel like I put them in the spot that's going to get messed up the most. But the whole plan, the whole idea of the storage shed was to help Jim not have to go to the attic as much. We're getting older, and the way he would get stuff from the attic is he would climb up and sit there and then hand me stuff down, and I would collect it up the ladder like this, like slide it down the ladder. Stuff was getting just a little too heavy for us at one point. It's just like it was too much to keep doing that. And he was getting, tired of going up and down the ladder, and he was feeling less and less safe doing that. And I said, that's fine, So part of it was to get all of the holiday decorations in one place. The majority of the reason for that is because in the past, you guys know I love to decorate for every holiday. And barring this particular injury, which I pray is resolved very quickly, and I know that, there's a lot of questions still up in the air, but I pray that it's resolved very quickly. I love to decorate for every holiday, but literally up until now, when we get this storage shed fixed, I always had to rely on him to get the decorations down. The only reason I had to rely on him for Americana and Easter, and I sometimes actually did that myself, was because the way he kept the utility room. Like, he just kept it a disaster, and he made it almost impossible for me to find anything, which I'm not complaining. Okay, it's his space. That's fine. I just meant, like, I wanted to have the independence of getting the decor myself and to be able to decorate myself, even if it wasn't all in one fell swoop. Even if I got the decor on Tuesday and unpacked some on Wednesday and decorated some on Thursday, I would have to rely on him less. Now, it's something he still said he wants to participate in from occasion, like when he feels like he wants to do it. It's funny because he gives me a hard time sometimes, but he really enjoys doing it. I think that's with a lot of things, which I laugh because that was my dad. My dad used to be like, nah, this is fine. And then you go to start changing it, and he's right there on top of you, like helping you and fixing it and finishing it and stuff. So, that was the point of having the shed. The shed was to get all of the holiday stuff wrangled on the first floor to a place where I can access it myself. Then what we were going to do is to make the utility room sort of a utility room. It was going to have tools and outdoor equipment, like lawn equipment, possibly some temporary storage. So like what we've done up until this point is, even if it comes from the attic, Jim takes down the boxes, we bring them inside, we decorate whatever we're going to do. We take whatever decor is around the living room, we put them back into the empty boxes. Usually it's just, you unpack 5 boxes and you pack up 1. Like, that's usually what ends up happening. So we take the empty boxes and we store them in the utility room until the season is over. So one of the things we said we would do, instead of putting them back in the shed, unless we get the shed to a place where it will work that way, we could, store those empty boxes in the utility room. But what I wanted to do for a long time, even like when I lived in New York, I always wanted to have like dinner parties. I know I've said this. You guys can't stand when I say I save things and I collect things and I have things. I don't care. It's not about you. It's me. It's my house. Leave me alone. But I have always had the desire to entertain. So I have entertainment pieces. I have a few things, like we used them when Eden got married. Like for her shower. We've used them like on different occasions. I've taken them to church for like displays and stuff. So it's not like they have never been used. They just aren't used on a regular basis. Like I use them on holidays, but like I haven't used them on holidays, and most of it on holidays in a few years, because it's usually just us and occasionally Aunt Sue also. So it's not like we have a big crowd, but like when my sisters were here, my party, we used party wear. So what I always wanted to do was to have the party wear in the utility room, like basically get storage shelves and put the party stuff in the utility room. The utility room has the hot water heater in it. It's not really climate controlled, so it's okay for those kinds of like dishes and stuff. But it is like, nothing's bug proof, but it is like bug proof it's whatever bugs get in the utility room can come in my house kind of thing. So that even though it has an outdoor door, it's basically an indoor space. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no air conditioning in there, so it's not climate controlled, but it is like weatherproof. Does that make sense? So my plan was to always have like those storage shelves to basically have my party wear on there. Jim would have his whole peg wall with his tools and stuff. So that was like kind of like what the plan was. Hi.
Hi.
Do you need me?
Oh.
Do you come in to turn the fan on because it's really, really hot in here?
You're going to be able to do that?
If you put it on high, because I'm really, really hot at this point, honestly.